Hey everybody, welcome back live at Drew's house, Joppa Afternoon Drive. Hope everybody is doing well out there, enjoying your fall. We have a first-time guest on the show today. Very excited about this. I always sometimes this doesn't happen all the time. We have a lot of repeat guests these days because people love coming back, I guess. But Alan Gibeley of Gibeley's Menswear, how are you, my friend?
All right, how are you, Drew?
Great to see you.
Thank you.
Wearing one of the fine jackets I think I've seen at your place there.
Of course. Isaiah.
And you got the logo too. Can I see the logo? What do you got on the back?
Yeah, it's a piece of coral is their logo.
Oh, okay.
And it's out of Italy, out of Naples, Italy. Everything's handmade in Naples, Italy for this brand.
All right. I know I've told you this when I've been in your store before, but my grandfather always used to wear your stuff, but my grandmother, I think, was the one always pushing it. She goes, it's just where you have to go, John.
Always the ladies. Push the men to dress better.
My aunts always like that story. They think it's always hilarious. But anyway, so you guys are on 114.
We are.
Is that technically Peabody?
It's Danvers, actually.
It's
right across the street is Peabody.
Okay.
We're across from my friend Micho Mitsubishi.
Okay.
Jill and Kevin. And we are near, I guess, a quarter of a mile from the Century House.
Yes, okay. A fine restaurant.
Yes, been there for years.
Yeah, there's a good breakfast spot there. You know what? Here's an interesting one to start with, right? Because I know we have a lot of guys that are going to be doing proms and all this stuff this year. What is the one mistake that the young men make in today's world as far as getting themselves together for these big formal events?
Probably waiting until the last minute. That's number one.
You know a little bit about that, huh?
Oh, it's too funny. And we do turn things around very quickly for the kids. But they want things to fit extremely tight today. All the young guys want everything tight to the body, and what they don't sometimes understand is that typical wool suits don't have any stretch. Okay. So they're not like a jean, and they end up blowing out of them during the prom. Okay. So we try to get them as thin as possible and trim as possible, but within reason.
That's the deal these days. Tight is in. The
tighter the better. Higher. Pants or floods.
Okay.
That's what's in style, especially for the younger guys.
The days of the I'm sorry. It is so funny. I got a new phone. I've been complaining about this last 3 shows. So I have a new phone. I've put the volume off 3 times, and it still rings. I don't understand. Maybe you're going to have to teach me sometimes. It's bizarre. I've literally talked about it the last 3 shows. I'm going to have to stop bringing that thing in. Sorry about that. So the tight is in, and then it's one thing that I think the planning as far as like getting last minute. I want to know what's the worst last minute story you've ever had. Like, can you get me something? You're like, oh my God, that is cutting it close.
Oh gosh, we've had the day before. I'm getting married tomorrow. I mean,
married?
Yeah, it was a second marriage, but he was getting married the next day.
You might be onto the third with that kind of planning.
He was funny. And he came in at 2 p.m. and for a suit to get married in. And, fortunately we had the staff. We got it done, but it wasn't easy.
Wow.
And, they were happy. And the bride was actually pretty laid back about it. And it was an outdoor wedding up in Vermont, and they were leaving the next morning. It was really funny.
My goodness. What do you do when did they call you first, or did they just walk in?
No, they just came in, walked in off the street.
You know what I need? A suit. That is hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny.
Wow. And then very good. Does that put you guys in panic, or do you kind of like that adrenaline rush?
Now, you know what? We have executives who come in and they pick up their items at the laundry, and all of a sudden it doesn't fit. It shrunk at the laundromat somehow. Yeah, is what a lot of them tell us. So they come in, and we're faced with it a lot. So we have 6 tailors always, 3 tailors always on premises, and we're prepared for it.
Okay. Yeah, they're great, by the way. They I always feel very taken care of when I go in there. I'm actually wearing the jeans today,
awesome.
The Gibeley's jeans, which I say are probably the most comfortable pair of jeans I've ever worn, which is a lovely thing. But all right, so there's a little something for the young men. What's the what's like the trends for the adults these days? Is there something like fall attire that people are really buying like crazy from you?
Probably the number one new item has been for the past year. Hoodies, casual hoodies. So moving on from the Champion sweatshirt hoodie, which we give away for some of our prom events to the kids. But we have cashmere hoodies. We have this new fabric, stretch fabric. That's a synthetic hoodie. That's lightweight. So you put it under a sport coat or put it under another sweater. So hoodies are everywhere. you're draping it over a jacket, draping it over a sport coat.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Hoodies in all different shapes and forms.
Yeah. I like it on the golf course, like the nice.
Yeah,
the nice
hoodies are accepted on the PGA now.
I know.
All our golf lines have hoodies now.
That's crazy.
All the Italian brands are sending them in these amazing cashmere wool blends and full cashmere. Some are all cotton. Anyway, hoodies have been fun.
You're a big golfer, right?
I am, yes. Yep. I live at one golf course and belong to another.
That's right. Game good this summer?
Yeah, that's been good.
Good golf
Means
summer. Good weather.
I used to get a lot of strokes. I'm not getting quite as many anymore.
Well, yeah, that'll happen too. It's funny. I was watching. I don't watch too much of the live golf just because it's super, but it's odd for me to watch those guys in shorts out there though. Have you seen any of that?
Yeah,
it's strange.
It is strange. We've been watching our whole lives in long pants.
It actually doesn't feel right to me. I don't know. I feel like they might want to change that, the live guys, but I don't know. Whatever.
I like the long pants better as well.
Yeah, I even like playing in long pants, but I mean, if it's a 100-degree day, no. But
of course,
I don't know. It feels better. I don't know. I like the whole dressing up at the golf course thing. People do push that. I've seen some. Not like the nice hoodies out there. I've seen like legit like sweatshirts on the golf course. I'm like, it was never used to be allowed back in the day there.
I don't know about sweatshirts, but a nice hoodie's accepted.
Yes. Yeah, there's a big difference. What's your favorite course around here?
Well, Turner Hill is where I belong. That's one of them. But I like a lot of courses on the North Shore. Myopia, Essex, Salem. Renaissance is cool. Up north, we have Golf Club in New England. Phenomenal course.
Which one's that? Is that what town's that?
Is it Stratham? I don't remember. Okay. It's about. It's like
I've never played
10 minutes over the border.
Okay.
Really nice, and you almost feel like you're in a different state.
Yeah.
It's really vast, huge course. They have a par 5 that is 600 yards. It's really amazing.
Gotcha. All right. Well, very good. My golf game's bad this year. I just haven't played enough. I'm one of those. I mean, I can go out and shoot okay, but I always aim to be at a certain number, and if you're not playing a lot, it's my short game. I can drive the ball all day, but you lose your short game if you're not playing a lot.
Of course, you have to practice that.
Enough complaining here, right?
Boring.
I told you you're my last interview here before I jet off to Savannah for a couple of days. I'm going to a wedding. Wedding attire. What should I be wearing? Actually, Savannah, Georgia. What am I wearing?
Down in Savannah, likely open collar. Okay. I'd wear a sport coat with a pair of linen pants. Maybe it's going to be warm down there still.
Yeah.
My daughter looked at Savannah College of Art and Design, so we went down there for a few days. It's a very cool
I've never
place.
been. Yeah.
Beautiful. I would do a little more casual than it would be in like a New York or a Boston.
Okay.
Lighter colors if you have it.
Light colors, good idea.
Yeah.
Forecast is nice.
Fun. It's Savannah. It's
fun place to be.
Yeah, brighter colors are definitely popular there.
What about like a fall Boston area wedding?
So fall Boston area, a little dressier. Flannels, if you have a flannel suit, a flannel, tweeds are back in style as well. Mm-hmm. Anything with a more loft for fall is the best.
Yeah.
What's great about loftier materials, heavier materials, you can sit right in the car in them. They don't wrinkle at all like the lighter weight materials.
I like that, yeah.
You wear it almost like a jacket, and it fits the season very well. The further north you go, the more lofty or heavier the material.
Sure, very good. Okay, and I see you out all the time doing a lot of these fundraisers. We were just at one a few weeks ago there at the Cabot in Beverly, which we had a lot of fun at. Yeah. How much of the job is like getting out to a lot of those community events, and I don't know if it's hanging with customers or whatever it may be. I'm sure you guys do all sorts of stuff, but
we're invited to many events at the store because we are people come in because of their social reasons. They need something to an event. They need an interview, whatever it might be. But
some guys just come in to talk to you and your staff. I think I've seen it happen over there.
Some guys come in and hang out and have a cappuccino and
make a day of it. Yeah, we
have a lot of fun in the store, but so. When we go out to dress up for these events, I'm watching what people are wearing. A lot of the times, we meet new clients, but most of all, we support a lot of charities. We support a lot of our clients who are on the boards of these charities, and so if you're a client at the store, we try to accommodate, and many times we'll go to the event.
Yeah, it does seem like a big thing for you guys to be a part of be in the community, I would say, is probably the way to phrase it, right?
Yeah, support the community, and it'll support you. That's
Yeah.
the theory.
Oh, well said. Absolutely. Fun night. We had fun there.
Yeah, it was great.
Wasn't it?
Francois singing, he was unbelievable.
Yeah, I had to, he always keeps me up late, Francois. I had to go to work early in the morning in Boston, and
Yeah, it was.
the alarm came quickly. Let's put it that way.
It's a great place.
But yes, but excellent entertainer. It is a great place. It's going to be my buddy Casey Sword is no longer there running the place, so I know he was the executive director there. So I'm curious to see where they go with it there. I don't think they've decided yet, but.
Yeah, Henry Bertolone has been a client of ours for years. He goes back with my dad, and now his son comes in, John, and just really nice people. And Henry, rebuilt that theater. He's done a lot to get it developed, a lot of great acts, and it's been phenomenal to have that right here.
Rebuild it and keep the old feel to it. There's an art to that, right?
Yes, definitely.
It's I don't know. I kind of feel that way about Fenway Park. I know there's a million people that wanted a new stadium here and everything.
I don't
either. Yeah,
I love it.
I mean, I don't have kids, but I've always said, I would love to be able to take my kids to Fenway.
Yeah,
same one I went to. I'm kind of happy it's still there.
It's the best.
It is. You a baseball guy too?
Yeah, and we've been, I've been a baseball fan for years.
Got to be around here, right?
Of course.
I've been enjoying these playoffs, actually. It's been good. Again, Alan Gibeley joining us here of Gibeley's Menswear, 114 in Peabody, right on the Danvers-Peabody line there. You guys, I was going to say, that's where I usually stop in and get my Starbucks, and then I walked into your place, and everybody's drinking that, what do you got in there, that special coffee machine in there? Or?
Yeah, we have 3 different coffee makers. Italian coffee, then we have some from Brazil, and we have your typical Keurig.
Yeah,
that works just fine as well.
One of your workers was raving about the. I actually don't know what he was drinking, but I think it was more than coffee. But whatever the fancy one was, he was raving about it. It's one of the best machines I've ever seen. So.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, that's interesting. What's the biggest mistake you see in like the formal attire? I guess I'm sure you notice this stuff. You just see something that just bothers you, like at an event or something. You're like, oh, why are they?
Probably the way people put on their flower. Okay, and during a wedding, when you pin it through the lapel, they ruin the lapel on many of the suits that come back. So,
gotcha.
My advice is just do a pocket square and tie in the pocket square to correlate with the wedding party, with maybe the dresses, and then you're not ruining the suit. You don't have to worry about trying to pin that flower on 10 minutes before the event. And
I'm just thinking that must pain you to see somebody stick a needle through a.
Depending on the suit, our suits range have a pretty broad range in price. So if you do it to a real expensive one, some people are upset at what happened. So
what you taught me one thing that I'll always remember this. What do you call it? The balancing the jacket.
Yeah, you're balancing your jacket.
Yep.
When you see people kind of pull the lapel, you pull up a little bit and then down, and that balances your jacket so it doesn't slide back and reveal, a lot of your neck. You want it tighter on the back of your neck.
So that's why you see people doing that all the time.
Yeah, and sometimes, we also have to alter a lot of jackets so they'll stay.
Yeah.
But inevitably, it's almost on anyone. The jacket will fall back a little bit. Sometimes you just balance your jacket while you're wearing it every 10 minutes or so.
I love that. Learning something new every day there. It was a good little lesson for me. How do you get into I know it's the family business, but how do you, when you're growing up and how does it work? How do you get into this line of work and get into the fashion, and maybe are you just born around it and you're always in it, or?
Yeah, I think for me, I started going to the store to work with my dad on Saturday mornings when I was like 10.
10 years old.
Picking up needles off the floor that fall around while the tailor's marking them. They get stuck in the rug. I'd have to pull them out of the rug. Wiping down the bottom of pant racks. These were my first early day jobs. Picking
At 10,
up the
11, 12 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I guess just being around it, I always knew what I wanted to do. I went to Syracuse University, Bachelor of Science degree in retailing, as a retailing major. And,
okay.
There's not many schools that have that in the country.
Yeah,
But
I was going to say, most Syracuse is this line of work. You do a lot of media stuff here.
Yeah.
Did you have broadcasting on the brain?
And yeah, Syracuse is their Newhouse School of Communications, phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
One of the best in the country.
Yeah.
So I knew what I wanted to do. I went, after that, I went to Filene's Basement, downtown Boston. Then after that, I took a job with Sports Authority, opening up stores with them, their men's apparel. And then came back, like I said, to join my dad about 2.5 years after college. and here I am today.
Did he like that you went out and did all that other stuff at other stores and?
Completely. Yeah, it's what we talked about. After I graduated, I said, Dad, what do you want me to do? You want me to go do my own thing for a little while? That's kind of what I prefer to do.
Yeah.
If you want me now, I'll come back now. And he said, no, go do what you want. Learn some things and take back some trade secrets with you if you can.
Did you do that? Do you remember some things that you remember telling your dad that he was?
Oh my gosh. Filene's Basement, downtown Boston at the time, they had an automatic markdown. So when something is on the floor for 30 days, it's automatically marked down to 50%. So after it's on there for, I think, 60 days, it goes to 75%. 90 days, they donate it to charity.
Oh, okay.
That's how busy this store was. It was amazing. So you could do a floor change and move a rack 10 feet, literally 10 feet from one area of the store to 10 feet north or west. And it would change that rack from selling out in one day to maybe only selling 20% of it.
Oh, wow.
So traffic flow is what we learned about at that store. It's just amazing.
There is a whole art to placement and how you want your actual store to look, right? I mean, that's what you're talking about. I mean, it's when you walk in, certain things that catch your eye, and of course you want it to be a comforting feeling when you walk in too, right? You know.
Yeah, not too close. You can't have things too close to when you walk in. You're bombarded with clothing. You have to have ample space when you first walk in a place, and then there are the best places in the store are typically the walls. So who's going to get the center wall left?
Sure.
That's probably the number one spot in the store.
Always left?
Yeah, for some reason, at least in our store, it's center wall left.
Okay.
And it's not quite the center. It's kind of the first quarter of the store on the left is definitely the best.
And you must, I imagine, because so much of your place, like I said, a lot of it is social. I mean, not just a hangout, but you must also kind of have to train your staff. I know a lot of your people have been there, for many years with you, but there's a personal space thing with that too, right? You want to be helpful, but not too much, right? Or
most of our training at Gibeley's is learning about the merchandise.
Yeah.
So when you have phenomenal merchandise like we have, it sells itself. But so you need to educate people on why it is the price that it's at sometimes. Yeah. Or why is it so luxurious, and why is it made the way it's made? So we try to educate on that, and then if we can convey that message to our clients, then they'll buy it.
Yeah. That's the whole.
It's not a hard sell.
Not a hard. Yeah. It's the whole you get what you pay for thing, right? It might cost you a little bit more now, but it's going to last you for a longer period of time.
What's funny, I tell people is, with expense doesn't necessarily come durability. So there's a fine line. So you can typically you pay more, and yes, for 90% of the items in our store, if you're paying more money, they last you longer. But if you take it to the next level and you want the softest, most luxurious item you can possibly have in a suit or a sweater, that typically means it's extremely delicate, and you have to be careful with it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we warn people about that.
I'm glad. Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, that's probably something that you guys probably talk about. That's fascinating. Alan Gibeley joining us from Gibeley's Menswear in Peabody, right on the Danvers-Peabody line there. A fantastic location, and as I mentioned, my grandfather's favorite spot back in the day. To the day he died, he was wearing your stuff, I think.
Oh my gosh!
So you get a lot of that, right? I mean, there's people who, it's like generations of families.
We do. We have third and fourth generations that come through. I had a third generation man in yesterday, and the day before I had a person who dated my sister 30 years ago. So it's comical.
That must be a good feeling though too, because that's like. One, it means you're doing something right, and two, that's the whole family atmosphere you want in a place, right? Especially small town, North Shore. Like, you want that kind of feeling of, their family there. Let's go back there.
It's great. We love to support the generations, and when I see people bring in their son that's 17 or 18 or 19, and just it's fun to teach this young man what it's like in a real men's store, to be treated and serviced the way it used to be.
Yeah.
with the way a lot of stores were back in the day. It just doesn't happen anymore. You know?
Do you think back to those days where you're picking the needles off the rug and stuff when you're 10, 11, 12 years old? Do you I bet you learned a million lessons doing those jobs that maybe even a bunch of your people that are working for you right now probably don't even know some of those lessons you learned back there.
I learned a ton. You know, I probably learned the most from our clients. We have executives that I helped since I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
And talking with these executives and giving you, life's advice, and when you meet someone, what type of girl do you marry, and what business do you go into, and how to deal with family dynamics in a big family when you have a family business, and it's amazing that the lessons learned from just talking with all the different clients that we've had over the years.
Yeah, you ask a lot of questions back then.
And I think people, as they. You care about each other, you become friendly, and they want me to succeed, so they feel free to give the advice.
Right.
And they want the store to be there for years to come because they love it so much. So, they're protecting their asset almost, so to speak, and but it's fun, and a lot of our clients are my friends.
Yeah. It's funny when you were saying that. It just reminded me of a friend of mine who's done really great in real estate. Currently, he's done well, and he always says one of his best jobs, one of the best thing he ever did was be a caddy at one of the golf courses when he was young. Yeah. And he was like, because those guys, same deal. He would just a lot of these guys were well off and members at these great places, and he would ask them how they got there, and next thing you know, they're kind of telling him, well, this is what you want to do. You want to put this amount of money away, or save this, or put this in this.
Full of advice.
And he soaked so much stuff up, and he always says he learned a lot out there. He goes, I can't even tell you exactly what I did with all the advice, but I just know I got a lot.
You absorb it. You're hanging around with all these. If they can afford to shop at Gibeley's, then they're successful, typically. Okay, and that's unfortunately just the way it is. And so these guys, if they've made it. And if they're successful enough, then they have some good advice, likely.
There's something to learn there.
Right?
Yeah, no, that's great. It's so true. We're talking a little bit about weddings as we go. You get a group of, I'm trying to think back to my wedding. So you got 6 guys in the wedding. You're all coming in. We need to do this in a month. You see 7 guys that really don't know what they're doing? Maybe they're, in their 20s or something. Do you guys cringe at that? Or you're like, this is the fun part?
That's what we're here for.
There it is again. It's unbelievable. I can't get it to stop, Maeve. We need to get the phone company in here. We'll go to the phones. We'll take callers next time. Sorry, Alan. Keep going.
No
That's what you're in it for?
Yeah, most guys don't know at that age. Many younger guys have never put a suit on or a sport coat. Right. So we show them even how to put it on when you go to help them put the suit on. Don't put your arm up to the left. Put it down to the right.
Yeah.
And that's and your left arm, right? And that's so we show them that first, and then how to take care of a suit, how to even hang it up. Most of these kids have no idea how to hang, a suit pant.
You don't just throw it in the corner? No, that's not right.
So, we're all willing, and that's part of our service.
Yeah.
We teach people. So in our sales, meetings, we talk about, welcoming those guys who don't know anything about fabrics, and this is anyone from 19 to 60.
Yeah.
They're executives that we tie their bow tie their ties, and let them put it over their head. Yeah. Because they can't tie a good tie, or they just don't want to take the time to do it, or. Yeah,
there's a lot of people. I know a lot of people my age use. Not necessarily can't tie a tie, but you run into it from time to time. I've never done it myself.
Yeah. Well, also, you get good at tying a tie as well. So
yeah,
sometimes we can tie the tie in a full Windsor with a nice dimple in it. And, and it's hard to do unless you've practiced many times. And most of our guys don't have that kind of time, right?
Right. Well, there's a radio guy naturally, right? So our radio business is kind of we don't have to. We very rarely do we dress up like this.
Yeah, once a year you put on a tie, right?
But no, it is true though. Like when you do, then you go out and do functions or whatever, and then it's like a whole different thing. You kind of get almost snap out of that because let's face it, radio life. It's kind of it's casual when you're going in at 4 a.m. and let's put it this way. You're friends with Billy Costa. I'm sure
course.
Billy Costa's Kiss 108 6 a.m. look is a lot different than his 7 p.m. function look, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, he's a little more casual in the morning.
There's another good man there too. He was a North Shore guy for a while. Not anymore, I don't think. Right? Didn't he move?
Where is he now?
I think he's like more
Medford, maybe?
because our studios are in Medford. We're all in the same building, and I think he's living around there now.
Yeah, I just golfed with Chris, his son, last week.
Oh yeah.
Boy, that kid can hit the ball.
Can he? Yeah, I don't know Chris. Is he? Yeah. Good player?
Yeah, he's a great player.
Wow.
He's at Ferncroft.
Oh, okay. Another high school. That was my home course in high school,
Oh, no kidding.
Best gig ever was playing high school golf for Danvers Falcons.
Yeah, that's a great course.
Yeah.
I caddied there when I was a kid.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Learned some stuff. See, I knew there was something there.
Learn from them as well.
There
right?
you go. Yeah, Denver said golf practice at Ferncroft was 9 holes every day after school. It wasn't a bad gig to complain about, really.
No, yeah.
But
That's great.
Don't take that for granted. Actually, I took it for granted later in life. I was looking back and said I got to play every single day at Ferncroft, and whatever it was to play golf, it was like $150 for the season.
Sure.
Crazy,
$150 for a day today.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
One round.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a nice course, though. I do like it over there. All right, Alan Gibeley, this has been a pleasure. First time guest on the show, what we always have to do is rapid fire. We give you some easy ones, and so you are a first timer, so you got to do a few of these, okay?
Okay.
First thing that comes to mind. They're not hard. They're just, we'll start easy. Favorite food?
Pizza.
Pizza?
Yeah, in Florence, Italy, if I could.
Oh, okay. I like that.
That's my favorite.
Take it to the next level. Very good. Favorite musician?
I would go with the Dave Matthews Band.
Did you know that? That's me too.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God, the instruments.
Yeah.
They're
I'm like
amazing.
a Springsteen and Dave. They're my my two. I know they're very different, but yeah. Actually, we had a whole show on here dedicated to Dave because we had a crew that goes up to Guilford every year to go to those shows up there. So
Phenomenal.
Didn't know that, but we have a whole nother conversation point. Very good. Favorite movie?
Oh boy, I would go with Caddyshack.
Yeah, good one. best like everyday wear, something that's like nice, but what's your like casual if you just want to be comfortable, but like you're out and about? What's that?
I'm gonna have to go with the hoodie right now.
The hoodie,
Nice
yeah.
Cashmere hoodie.
They really are. Yeah, okay.
Love it.
That's what's in. Very good. Let's do favorite comedian. How about that? You get that one?
Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller, good one. I just saw something online. He's I think coming out with a pickleball movie. Although I'm not sure if it was fake or not. Yeah, I didn't do my fact checking on that. So
I just think he's a riot.
He's a diehard tennis fan, which I always see him in all the tennis tournaments. So I'm a tennis guy, and so it could be true.
Sebastian Maniscalco for a stand-up now.
Okay,
Since Ben
my
Stiller's
dad
moved
likes
on.
him too. Yeah, that's my
He's a
dad's
riot.
favorite. And here's the one we'll end with too. Again, think like a lot of high schoolers watching this show. We got a bunch of the kids at Newburyport that like this. What is the best professional advice you ever received?
I just was recently quoted in Boston Common Magazine, but when you listen to advice, listen to the people who have made it, and always trust your intuition would be my number one piece of advice.
Very nice. Well said. Alan Gibeley of Gibeley's Menswear in Peabody. Go check them out. Honestly, even if you're not going to buy something that day, it's worth like going in and just like seeing the place and seeing all the stuff. Like people do that, right?
No pressure. Absolutely.
I imagine. It's because it is. There's just some fascinating stuff. Especially, I mean, you can see the new fashion of the world and all that. It's a very cool place to be. Right on 114 in Peabody. Alan, thank you, man. This was fun. First time.
Thanks, Drew. It was great being here.
Did you come by boat?
I should have.
You joked. You were in Gloucester. You said, the fastest distance is...
Should have taken the boat.
Long drive. But thanks for doing it, man. We appreciate it. Alan Gibeley, very cool. Thank you to Maeve Power, Sarah Hayden, the boss, Ryan Rothberg, our small but mighty team here in Newburyport. We love you guys doing all the hard work while I get to interview interesting people. We love you, and thank you for all your good work. I hope you're enjoying fall out there, everybody. We will see you next time live at Drew's house, Joppa Afternoon Drive. Peace.